All right, so you're getting ready for a poultry breeder interview.
Exciting stuff.
It is.
Hmm.
And this deep dive is going to help you just crush it.
Totally.
So we've got all the RoleCatcher resources like the career guides,
Mm-hmm.
sample interview questions,
Yeah.
insights into the AI.
Yeah, so cool how the AI can really give you a leg up in this process.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into the kind of nitty-gritty of the questions and all of that, can we just paint a quick picture of like what a poultry breeder's day-to-day actually looks like?
For sure.
I'm guessing it's not all fluffy chicks and sunshine.
It's not all rainbows and butterflies, no. It's really a blend of, animal science and business savvy and a lot of hands-on work.
Okay.
So you're responsible for everything from the health and well-being of the birds to, managing the breeding programs to making sure that you're hitting those production targets.
Okay.
So it is demanding, but it's also incredibly rewarding.
I bet.
Yeah.
So it definitely sounds like you need to be passionate about poultry to want to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, let's jump right in.
That's it.
To that first interview question.
Okay.
This one often pops up early on in interviews.
All right.
How did you first become interested in poultry breeding?
It's a good question.
Yeah. Seems straightforward.
Yeah.
But what are interviewers really looking for?
Right. What's behind that? Yeah. They're trying to gauge your genuine enthusiasm and motivation for this role.
Okay.
So you need to really think back to what first sparked your interest in this area. Was it growing up on a farm?
Yeah.
Was it maybe a fascination with genetics?
Yeah.
Or even a desire to make a positive impact on food sustainability?
Okay.
You want to weave a story that showcases your passion and really makes you stand out from the crowd.
Okay, so a generic answer like, oh, I've just always loved animals.
Yeah.
That's not going to cut it.
That's not going to cut it.
What if you didn't grow up on a farm?
Right.
How do you make this personal and relevant?
Exactly. You want to connect your interests specifically to poultry.
Okay.
And ideally link it back to your skills and experiences.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say you volunteered at an animal shelter. You could talk about how that experience really opened your eyes to the importance of animal welfare and how that led you to explore the world of poultry breeding.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Right.
Okay, so next question.
Okay.
What experience do you have in breeding different types of poultry?
Okay, now we're talking.
Now's your chance to strut your stuff.
Yeah, this is where you really showcase those hands-on skills.
Okay.
So don't just list the breeds you've worked with.
Right.
Dive into the specifics. Talk about the projects that you've been involved with. Talk about the challenges that you faced, the results that you achieved.
Okay.
Did you boost egg production in a certain flock?
Yeah.
Did you improve disease resistance in a particular breed?
Wow.
Details are key here.
Okay. Now I'm curious, from your experience,
Yeah.
have you ever encountered a breed that was like particularly challenging?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you adapt your approach?
Yeah, so there was one time I was working with this heritage breed.
Okay.
And they were known for being incredibly prone to stress.
Oh, wow.
So we had to completely revamp their housing.
Interesting.
Adjust our handling techniques.
Okay.
All just to kind of keep them calm and productive.
Wow.
It was a steep learning curve, but it really hammered home the importance of understanding each breed's unique needs.
That's a great example of how experience teaches you to like be adaptable and problem solve.
Exactly.
All right. Question number 3.
Okay.
This one feels like a biggie.
Yeah.
How do you ensure the health and welfare of your birds?
It is a big one.
It seems like interviewers are looking for more than just like a
Yeah.
textbook answer.
More than the basics. They absolutely are.
Okay.
They want to see that you prioritize ethical and responsible practices.
Okay.
So this is where you showcase your knowledge of poultry health, biosecurity, and creating those optimal living conditions.
So beyond the standard practices, is there any kind of innovative technique that you've used personally to like boost the bird health or welfare?
Lately, I've been experimenting with adding natural probiotics.
Oh, interesting.
To their feed.
Oh.
And the early results have been really promising,
Nice.
especially in terms of gut health and immunity.
Okay.
But it's crucial to constantly stay updated on the latest research and best practices.
For sure.
And that actually leads perfectly into our next question.
Oh, nice segue.
Yeah.
Okay, so question 6.
Right.
How do you start up to date with the advances in poultry breeding?
Good question.
What resources would you recommend someone to kind of stay ahead of the curve?
Industry publications are a must-read. Okay.
Attending conferences or workshops can give you a real edge as well.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate online forums and communities.
Okay.
Those are gold mines for exchanging knowledge with fellow breeders.
Interesting.
It's all about committing to continuous learning.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's where RoleCatcher can be really handy, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's not just about finding jobs.
Right.
It's
about building that expertise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They have tons of relevant resources, and they help you track your learning progress.
Yeah, like having a personal roadmap for professional development.
Speaking of roadmaps, let's talk about the different career stages that you can expect as a poultry breeder.
Sure.
The RoleCatcher Career Guide lays it all out.
It does.
From entry level to senior roles.
Yep.
Which actually brings us to question 4.
Right. Question 4.
This one's all about selecting breeding stock.
Okay.
Which feels like a skill that evolves as you gain experience.
It really does. For someone just starting out, how would you suggest they approach this question?
I would say focus on the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Show that you understand the importance of selecting for those desired traits.
Okay.
Whether it's egg production, meat quality, disease resistance.
Okay.
Don't be shy about mentioning mentors like you've learned from or resources that you rely on.
Okay.
It shows you're eager to learn and grow.
Yeah. And for our listeners who are eyeing
Yes.
those senior breeder positions, what additional insight should they bring to the table?
Think bigger picture.
Okay.
Talk about how you've developed and managed breeding programs, how you've balanced those short-term goals with that long-term genetic progress.
Okay.
Highlight your leadership skills, your data analysis abilities, even your experience mentoring junior breeders.
Okay.
It's all about showcasing that well-rounded expertise.
So concrete examples are key here.
Yes.
It's not just what you know, but how you've actually applied it.
Exactly.
And this is where that personalized feedback from RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly valuable.
It can.
Because it analyzes those job descriptions and pinpoints what they're looking for so you can tailor your answers.
For sure.
Okay, let's tackle a question that might seem a bit daunting to.
All right.
Question 5. Managing genetic diversity. This feels like it requires a pretty deep understanding of genetics and breeding principles.
Yeah, for sure.
You need to be able to articulate why that's so important.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why is genetic diversity so crucial?
You need to talk about the risks of inbreeding, disease susceptibility, even the ability to adapt to those changing environments. It's about thinking long term.
So how can someone illustrate their practical approach to managing diversity?
So there are a few key strategies that you can mention. You can talk about line breeding, which helps to concentrate those desirable traits, or outcrossing, which brings in new genes and can boost a flock's overall resilience.
So which approach you choose depends on the specific goals of the breeding program.
For sure.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
It's about understanding the tools and knowing when to use them.
Exactly.
I'm curious, have you ever had to make a tough call between these strategies?
Oh, absolutely. There was this one instance where...
Go hold that thought.
Oh, okay.
We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll dive into more of your expert insights.
Sounds good.
And those crucial interview questions.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
All right. We had a client who wanted to focus solely on increasing egg size.
Oh.
But I was concerned about the potential long-term impact on the bird's overall health and fertility.
Okay, yeah. So how did you navigate that?
It was all about communication.
Okay.
And finding that balance.
Yeah.
We presented the client with data showing how a solely size-focused approach could negatively impact other traits.
Down the line.
Down the line, exactly.
Yeah.
And we proposed a breeding strategy that prioritized egg size while still maintaining a healthy level of genetic diversity.
Got it.
And ultimately, they appreciated the proactive approach and trusted our expertise.
It's great that you were able to find that win-win solution.
Right.
It sounds like communication and collaboration are really essential in this field.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's move on to question 7.
All right.
What is your experience working with hatcheries and other industry stakeholders? This one seems to be about those people skills as much as your technical know-how.
Exactly. Poultry breeding isn't a solo endeavor.
Right.
You're constantly interacting with suppliers, veterinarians, researchers.
Yeah.
So think back to situations where you had to build relationships,
Mm-hmm.
communicate effectively, maybe even navigate some tricky, conflicting priorities.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example of like a successful partnership?
We once worked with a hatchery to improve chick quality.
Okay.
So we provided them with data on our breeding stock.
Mm-hmm.
They adjusted their incubation protocols.
Okay.
And together we saw a significant improvement in hatch rates and chick health.
Nice.
It was a real team effort.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And for someone who's newer to the field, who hasn't had a ton of direct industry interaction,
Right.
what's their best approach to this question?
I would say don't be afraid to draw on experiences from other areas of your life.
Oh,
Maybe you were active in a student organization or a volunteer group or even a team sport.
Okay.
The key is to demonstrate that you can collaborate, effectively communicate clearly, and build those positive relationships.
Those are skills that are totally transferable.
They are.
Across any field.
Across all fields, for sure.
All right, let's tackle question 8.
Okay.
How do you balance short-term breeding goals with long-term genetic progress?
Interviewers want to see that you can think beyond the immediate demands of the job.
Right.
And consider the long-term sustainability of the breeding program.
So it's about seeing the big picture.
Exactly.
I'm curious, how do you prioritize like short-term projects versus...
It's a constant balancing act.
Okay.
So in the short term, you might be focused on maximizing egg production for the upcoming season. But you always need to keep an eye on the long game, maintaining genetic diversity, improving disease resistance, adapting to evolving consumer demands.
So a successful breeder can juggle all of those.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Strong organizational skills and planning are essential.
Definitely.
I'm guessing RoleCatcher can also give some insights
absolutely.
into showcasing those skills.
RoleCatcher's AI goes beyond just matching keywords. It analyzes the language used in job descriptions to understand what employers are truly seeking.
So if a company emphasizes long-term planning or strategic thinking, you'll know to highlight that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Makes sense.
We've only got a couple more questions to go.
Okay.
Question 9.
All right.
What is your experience managing a breeding program?
Okay.
Seems geared toward...
more experienced professionals.
More experienced,
This is your chance to showcase your leadership experience.
Okay.
Have you led a team of breeders? Have you developed and implemented successful breeding programs?
Okay.
Don't just tell them, quantify your achievements. Talk about the challenges you face and how you overcame them. Demonstrate your ability to lead and make a real impact.
And for those who haven't had a chance to manage a whole program yet, what could they draw on?
Think about any situation where you've demonstrated leadership potential.
Okay.
Were you captain of a sports team? Did you lead a project in school? Or maybe take charge of a volunteer initiative?
Okay.
Those experiences all demonstrate transferable skills like decision-making, problem-solving, teamwork, and the ability to motivate others.
That's a great reminder that leadership isn't limited to job titles.
Right.
Okay, last but not least, question 10.
All right, number 10.
How do you ensure that your breeding program meets industry standards and regulations?
This one's pretty straightforward in terms of what they're asking,
right.
But you need to showcase more than just a basic understanding of compliance. Right. Poultry breeding is heavily regulated, and employers want to know that you take it seriously.
So what kind of concrete examples could someone give?
You can talk about specific protocols that you follow.
Okay.
Maybe you've implemented a system for tracking vaccinations and health records. Or you have a robust biosecurity plan to prevent disease outbreaks.
Okay.
The key is to show that you're detail-oriented, proactive, and understand the importance of staying up to date on those ever-evolving regulations.
This feels like another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be really valuable.
For sure. Their platform provides access to a wealth of information on industry standards and regulations.
Okay.
Plus, their AI can even help you identify potential compliance gaps in your current practices.
Wow, that's great.
It can give you that extra peace of mind.
We covered a lot of ground today, from those initial sparks of passion to the nitty-gritty of managing a program.
Yeah.
What are some final thoughts you'd like to leave our listener with as they head into that interview?
It all comes down to this, Be prepared.
Okay.
Be passionate.
Mm-hmm.
And be yourself. You've got the knowledge.
Right.
Now it's just about showcasing your unique strengths and experiences.
And those interview questions.
Yeah.
They're just a starting point.
They really are. And what's really interesting is that the poultry industry is always evolving.
Yeah.
So continuous learning and genuine curiosity, those are key to staying ahead of the curve.
And we've touched on the different career stages you can explore from, leading teams to maybe even starting your own thing.
Exactly. The possibilities are exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener?
Yeah.
You've gotten a sneak peek into the life of a poultry breeder, a roadmap for those interview questions, and even some insights into how RoleCatcher's AI can help.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
It is a great tool.
And don't forget, the poultry industry is constantly evolving.
Right.
So what emerging trends or technologies do you find interesting?
Yeah.
Could you be the one to bring those innovations to the table?
Yeah.
And make yourself an even more valuable asset?
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic question to ponder.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what sets you apart.
Yeah, what makes you unique?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good luck with your interview.
Best of luck.
And remember, the future of poultry breeding is waiting for passionate individuals like you to shape it.
It is waiting for you that she